sure what that noise was. Evening, evening, evening. Is anybody there? Hello? We have 3 people. Hi. Hello, good evening. Hi, how are you? Hi. Hello, say hi. Don't leave me talking to myself. Please. Hello. Hi, Rebecca. Hello. You're officially the first person to say hello. Hi, Phoebe. Hello again. I'm assuming you've joined us after watching the live. The other live. The live pre-event. Hi, Siobhan. Hi, Marie. Hello. Hi, Judith. Just going to say hi to everybody. This is the live, Gavin. You are on the correct live. Welcome to the live. We are live. This is the live. Hi, Adele. Hello, Emma. Hi, Deborah. Hi, Nikki. I hope you've all got a drink. I hope you're comfortable. I hope you've all got your boxes. I hope you've got your tester strips, most importantly. Little Escentual branded ones, obviously. Hi, Pat. Hello. Hi, Lynn. Hi, Daniela. We're at 27 people. Let's keep going. Let's get to 1 million. Michelle. Nick Hogan is watching. Hello, Nick Hogan. Strong t-shirt work. Thank you. T-shirt's great. And then, obviously, the denim jacket is amazing. You found me. Hello. Yes, you're here. Hi, Sean. Hi, Abby. Oh, it's your first time. Welcome, Abby. Everyone give Abby a big wave. Hi, Abby. You're a newbie. I said hi to you, Nick. I said, hello, Nick Hogan. I said hi to you. I would never ignore you, Nick. I would never. I could never. Hi, the one, the only Lisa Justice. It's good to see you. Hi, Joel. Hope you're well. Hi, Tiger Lily. Strong name there. Gavin's drinking water. Are you sure that water's not just vodka though, Gavin? Peppermint tea. Why, thank you. I am looking fabulous. Thank you. I've had a haircut. I don't look like a microphone anymore, which is what happens when my hair gets too long. Hi, Camilla. Hi, Louise. Hello, babes. If you are new, let us know in the chat that this is your first time. Long time listener, first time caller. This is a denim jacket, people. It's not just a shirt. It is an amazing denim jacket. Thank you very much. Conchetta is your first time. Hello, welcome, welcome, welcome. Emma says, on the stout, enough water's in the perfumes, in it. In it, indeed. Agreed. Hi, Christabel. Enjoyed your live earlier this week. Drita, Christine, hi. First time for you two. Hello. Loving all the first timers. Lisa's her other half looks like a microphone when his hair gets long too. This is the problem about having a buzz cut, is when it gets long, it just kind of grows in a mound, and you do look like a microphone. And my hair grows really, really ridiculously quickly. Brillo pad, not good. Doris has got a glass of bubbly because she set up the router in time after having moved. That is dedication. Well done. Karen's here. Hi, Karen. Karen is manning Escentual for the evening. We're at 50. I think we can do better. Oh, okay. Christabel's already peaked with the G&Ts. It just keeps telling me Nick Hogan is watching. So I'm glad you're watching, Nick. Hello. 1 kilogram bag of M&Ms. Please feel free to share those around, everybody. Susie's here. Hi, Susie. Susie and I just did a quick live talking about Fragrance D, and it was thoroughly enjoyable, but too short. We should have started at approximately about 4 p.m, I think. Maddie's here. Hi, Maddie. Susie's on the three-tide smoked rum because she's bougie. That's why, because she's bougie. Hi, everybody. This is great. I hope we're excited about the Aquatic reveal. I have to admit, I've enjoyed the 1990s trip down memory lane that I've been having with this box. Obviously, I like every box because I choose them, but this one I've enjoyed a lot. Hi, Carl. Good to see you. Hi, Chris. Again, if you're new and have not announced yourself as new, please do so now. Tell us if this is your first time. I love spending 25 minutes saying hello to everybody, really. It's just a good way of getting things going. Claire's excited to move on to the second half. It's good. Not long now. After today, you can just go for it. I mean, you could go for it anytime. There's literally no rules. Gavin's loving the Aquatics way more than expected. Interesting. I've seen that a little bit. I think there are a few people who are quite unsure about the Aquatics who've enjoyed it. Karen says the Wear Day lives have been great. Yes, I've really enjoyed those. I hope you've all enjoyed them. Give us some feedback. Do you like the lives that we've done for the Wear Days? Lisa says so many are familiar. Yeah, I think it's a really prevalent note, Lisa, actually, a really prevalent genre of family aquatics. It's just kind of everywhere. Is the aquatic reveal going to be your t-shirt? Yeah, that's it. This is my t-shirt. It's by Swimming Pool. Obviously, because it's the Aquatics. That's it. And thanks for joining. Okay, so Camilla says this was not not her favourite, especially not the first half. Oh, Rebecca says the box proved divisive in my little Perfume WhatsApp group. Do tell. Give us some feedback. What were the thoughts? Gavin says he thought he was a woody oody kind of guy. And this is why I think fragrance wardrobes are important, because you might be a woody oody kind of guy on some days, but on some days you might just want a fresh aquatic. It's good to build a wardrobe. Susie says massively into the comfort of late 80s and 19th scents at the moment. Rediscovering love for Paloma, Picasso, Noah, Eden, Lulu. Yeah, those Cacharel scents are really bloody good. For the scent families, I find Aquatic, unisex, masculine the easiest to wear as a female who tends to lean female in feminine scents. Of all the scent families, I find Aquatic, unisex / mass leaning the easiest to wear as a female. Okay, gotcha. I'm struggling because I'm realizing the white font of the comments is really hard to read against this jacket. That's going to be fun. Love the theme clothes. Who else is in swimwear? I've literally only got Speedos on underneath here. Do like that jacket, although that's two I really like. Yeah. Okay, sorry, I'm far behind everybody. Christabel's always wanted to be a 1 cent girl, so everyone remembers me when they smell my fragrance, but I have a proper perfume wardrobe around. Too many I love. Exactly. Why choose one? 50% said it was mermaids, and 50% thought it was a Teen Boy Disaster Zone. Well, Teen Boy Disaster Zone is not good. We don't want to be there. Business on the top, party on the bottom. Absolutely. That's what it says on my business cards. Have I had a haircut? Nice of you to notice. Thank you, Louise. Thank you. So kind. Okay, let's just get started, because I could spend 3 hours saying hello to you all, and I think that wouldn't be very exciting, would it, for you? For me, it would be brilliant, but for you, not so much. So, let's talk. So, welcome to the Aquatic Live. This is live number 1. We're going to be revealing A to D in this box. We've been doing the live throughout the week on the Wear Days to talk about them, which has been really exciting, seeing some of you guys in the group talk about the fragrances. I've really enjoyed those. The whole point of this is just to have a nice, free-flowing, open conversation about the fragrances. There's no right or wrong. If you smell a particular thing or it smells a certain way to you and you want to explain it or describe it in that way, then that's valid. If you love the fragrance, that's great. If you're ambivalent about the fragrance, that's also great. If you absolutely hate the fragrance, that's also great. We didn't make the fragrances, so we're not going to get upset. You talk about what you like. The whole point of this is about discovery, and I think discovering what you don't like is just as important as discovering what you do like. So it's as kind of informative to know that aquatics aren't for you as it is to find out they are for you. What I think I've been seeing on the group is a lot of people realizing that I didn't realize they were for me, which I think is quite cool. So we're going to go through the A to D. I'll talk a bit about the fragrances, why we chose them, what they mean, and then I'll reveal what they are. But before I do that, I want to talk about aquatics and what they are. I'm going to put these down because I'm just holding them randomly. So I want to talk a bit about aquatics and about the genre. Please feel free to ask any questions, put comments in the chat. I really like hearing from you guys. And of course, as always, I have 5 boxes to give away. So I have 5 of September's Fougere boxes. I'm really excited about that one because I love a Fougere to give away. So I'll be giving those away to the best questions or comments. Normally it's whoever makes me laugh, and some people say outrageous things to do so, which I'm always here for. So I'm just going to hop straight into it. Okay, what is an aquatic fragrance? Well, I suppose the question I want to ask you first of all is, in your head, what is an aquatic fragrance? What does aquatic mean to you? I know the word fougere is a very satisfying one to sell. It's brilliant to say. While I'm waiting for you to tell me what aquatic means to you, I did have a funny comment from Nigel, who is my husband, who, just as I was coming off the other live to join this one, he said, do you think you're the Oscars with like your red carpet pre-show? I thought that was very rude, but also quite funny. So yes, I am Joan Rivers at the Oscars, and I'm also the best dressed, and I also won Best Actress. Thank you very much. This jacket would be great for Fougere. Yeah, I'll bring it around. It's fine. I'll just wear it again. So people say watery, sea. Yep, cool. Keep it coming. When were aquatic elements developed? We'll come to that, Lynn. It's a good question. Means dreamy and limitless, says Renita. Interesting. Siobhan says fresh, clean, and salty. Okay, cool. I like these. Watery, dewy, breezy, sometimes salty. Mineral accords, sea salt, watery florals, unisex, ocean waves, Sicily for some reason. It's an island, I guess. Oh, and summer romance. Ooh. Nigel wins the box for this comment. Yes, Nigel, you've won a box.
Oh, wow.
He's saying wow in a very unenthusiastic... No, that's enough, Nigel. That's enough. He's saying no in a very unenthusiastic tone, so he's not getting a box now. Different types. Some are salty and marine, and others just watery fresh. Watery salt, seaside-y, not fish and chips. No, we don't want any of that. Suntan lotion, fantasy. Karen is saying that you need to make an appearance on one of the live soon, Nigel. Yes, he's looking at me as if to say it's abject terror currently that he's looking at me with, that he might have to be on here. I can't put Nigel on here because you'd all like him more than me. That's why I won't do it. Fresh, marine, airy. Brilliant. Okay, so we've got a good idea of what aquatic means to you, and I think you're all right in your own way. So, an aquatic or oceanic fragrance, as they're sometimes called, is simply a fragrance that's evocative of water, and they often feel very clean, fresh, and crystalline, with a mineral ozonic vibe. And the family can actually be traced back to as early as 1939, when the French brand Le Galion created a fragrance called Brume, and Brume translates as mists in French. And that's a fragrance that was inspired by the scent of broom and gorse on the French coast. But aquatic fragrances, as we know them, so those ozonic, mineral, and marine fragrances, are most associated with the 1990s. The first truly aquatic fragrance was New West from Aramis, which came out in 1988. And that was the first true aquatic. And that boasted novel notes of watermelon and something called calone. That's not cologne, it's calone, Calone. And calone is the backbone of so many aquatic fragrances. Calone, also known as watermelon ketone, was first synthesized in the 1960s by scientists at Pfizer. We know Pfizer because they are a pharmaceutical company, and they also have made COVID-19 vaccines. That's where we'll have seen them before. And they were actually working with cyclic ketones whilst researching an affordable tranquilizer, which I think is quite interesting because a lot of these perfumery materials have been discovered when people are trying to create other things. So they found this material and they found that it had a strong watermelon facet, and it was used as a marginal ingredient in perfumery, very often just within Lily of the Valley accords to add a bit of freshness. And the smell of calone itself is fresh, it's green, it's ozonic, and it's kind of watermelon. And it's blended with herbal and floral and green and woody notes to create impressions of the ocean or bodies of water, of ozonic freshness and more. So cologne really didn't start out as an aquatic material, but it started being used as such in fragrances such as New West by Aramis. There are many other materials that are used for aquatic fragrances. There's azurone, transluzone, cascalone, aldolone, etc. But calone is the most iconic of all of those. Another material that we are using quite a lot in aquatic fragrances is ambroxan, but we will come to that later on in the box. So calone is kind of the backbone, and that's what we find in a lot of these fragrances, especially fragrance A, B, and C. It was used in a relatively high concentration in Calvin Klein's Escape in 1991, and the aquatic trend of the 90s was born from that point onwards. It was kind of the one that really kicked the trend off. But why were aquatics so popular in the 90s? Why was everybody wearing fresh aquatic fragrances? And I like to think of it as a kind of act of repentance after the excess of the 1980s. So these fresh ozonic scents were kind of an olfactory wet wipe that were much needed to wash away all of those heavy ambers like opium and those nuclear florals like poison. It was a fresh start. Everyone was kind of done with fragrances that get you banned from restaurants and you weren't allowed to wear to nightclubs. And the aquatics were kind of a clean, fresh alternative. They're a defining olfactory feature of the androgynous 1990s, and they can feel a bit dated now, but I think the time has passed because it is now 30 years since the start of the 90s. And as somebody who was born in the late 80s, that just makes me feel really old. We can approach them now with a fresh nose, I think. We've also seen some really modern novel twists on the aquatic theme in the last 10 years or so. Just take Womanity by Mugler, which we've talked about before. That is a really novel take on aquatics that does something a little bit different. So they're back. I think aquatics are having a bit of a resurgence. So this box has been created to remind you how amazing aquatics are. The classic ones, the modern ones, and of course, the ones we love, the weird ones. So in this first half of the box, which is A to D, we are going to look at 4 key aquatic fragrances. 1 classic reference aquatics, the aquatic to end all aquatics. The one when we think of aquatics, we think of this fragrance. Then we're going to look at another classic, but one that leans woody, so a woody aquatic. Another classic that leads floral, and then a modern aquatic. Let's just jump right in. Let's just go for it. Any questions on aquatics before I move on? I'm going to take a sip of my drink because I just spoke at very quick speed. Yeah, I hate to break it to you, the 90s did start 30 years ago. Sorry, I don't make time. Anna says, thank you for your TED. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Thank you, Anna, for coming to my TED Talk. You can borrow my brain any day. It doesn't work except on these lives. I think Susie admitted to being born in the 70s, but that can't be true, Susie. Okay, let's go in. Let's just jump right in. I'm ready. Let's go for A. So, if you can get your A out of the box, there you go. Fragrance A. Is CK Escape the original, or has it been reformulated? I would imagine it came out in 1991, so it probably has been reformulated. I don't think anything exists on the market that long without at least having to go through regulatory reforms. We do have a number of kind of changes to IFRA over the years that will probably change some things. Who needs a TED Talk? Exactly, Siobhan, when you can have a Thomas Talk. I think they should rebrand as Thomas Talk, and then I would like to get some of the revenue. Louis says A smells like Jason Momoa. Yeah, that's a good thought. Chris, I have a question, Thomas. I wonder how many times you have to say aquatic before this is over. I think the answer to that question is too many. Right, let's go. For fragrance A, who likes it? Who's a fan? Who is a fan of fragrance A? How do you know? Have you smelled him? Yeah, Louise. Have you smelled Jason Momoa? If so, can you tell us how we can also smell him, please? Thank you very much. Susie says A is lovely. It's still hot man smell for me. Yeah, it's good stuff, this. Carl likes it. Shot every time you say aquatic. If you do take a shot every time I say aquatic, please have a paramedic on standby, because I'm going to say it a lot. Gavin likes it. Carol says not for her. Anna says no, not Jason Momoa, but SpongeBob SquarePants. SquarePants. I think Anna, that does actually, it does win a box, because there is a rule that if you mention SpongeBob SquarePants, you win a box. So well done, Anna. That is Anna Hooper. Sorry, Anna, I can't read. Please message DM Escentual to get your box. It's a bit green Irish tweed, says Gavin. Yeah. Hester says hot man after a swim, gleaming skin. Jason Momoa. Yes, we've derailed things just by thinking about Jason Momoa. So For fragrance A, I wanted to pick a fragrance that really epitomizes the genre. So this is the reference Aquatic. There were so many I could have chosen. CK Escape and Aramis New West, for example. But for me, this one is the king of all aquatic fragrances. It's the fragrance you think of when you think aquatic. And it presents a herbaceous, oceanic freshness that evokes the image of life spent outdoors. And it's very muscular men diving off cliffs into the wilds of the ocean. And I have put in my notes, if Aquaman were a fragrance, he would be this. So I think all of the Jason Momoa talk is completely valid, and we will actively encourage. So Carl said this one was fresh, easygoing, and smooth. Charlotte said it had an initial soapiness, followed by zesty lemon, lavender hints, and a lemongrass freshness. Siobhan said it was shower jelly, and I think this would make a really good shower gel. I hope they do a shower gel in this, actually. And Lauren simply shared a picture of Daniel Craig in those blue swim trunks, and we were all very grateful for that, to be honest. So thank you, Lauren. Louise saw Jason Momoa at Comic-Con and stalked him. Okay, yes, that will explain the restraining order. Got it now. All makes sense now. It all adds up. Please put us out of our misery. We need to know if we are all correct. I've never heard of this fragrance you're all talking about, this cold moisture. I've never heard of it. I don't know what you guys are talking about. I don't know. I've never heard of it. I'm really sorry, guys. So what does this smell like? It's cool. It's got a soft menthol opening. Definitely not smelled this one in ages, Susie. Definitely not. It's got fresh mineral sea spray in the air. There's something green and herbal about it. It's got that feel of weeds growing from rocks covered by the ocean. It's almost like a bit of an algae vibe, but not dirty and gross. Lavender fields growing at the bottom of the sea. The smell of freshly showered skin. Ice cold air. The ocean dripping from skin. The cologne in this is so instantly recognizable. It is that super fresh, kind of green, slightly watermelony, sharpy, ozonic vibe that you've got there. That is what this fragrance is. Odor cold moisture sounds like the worst ever terrible dupe. Expect that at Aldi soon. Yes, possibly. But they owe me royalties for that because I came up with the name. Okay, so this fragrance is ready for the reveal. Are we ready? None of you guessed this fragrance. It is Cold Moisture by David. No, it's Cool Water by Davidoff. Yeah, you're all right. You all got it right. But I couldn't start an aquatic box with a fragrance other than this. It would have been illegal. I would have been arrested. This came out in 1988 by a perfumer called Pierre Baudin. He's done some amazing fragrances. He's worked with Frederic Malle. He's worked with Creed. And this is the men's version. Yes, this is Cool Water for men. This is Eau de Toilette. And it is £30 for a 40ml Eau de Toilette. Davidoff described this as an aromatic fresh fragrance, and that's a pretty good label, I think. It's a super fresh take on the herbal, lavender-centric fougere, plunged straight into the ocean. It still smells good, and now not so many people are wearing it. I think it's quite a cool one you can wear. Also, I think it makes a wonderful feminine as well. Some of these like classic masculines and classic feminines, because we so associate them with that particular gender, and we've seen so many people wear them, it feels a bit dated. Actually, if we gender bend with them, they feel very new. So yeah, coming through for algae, and I like it. Yeah, big fan of that. So this is Cool Water. Anna says, I wondered why it made me feel like a boy on the cusp of puberty. Well, now you know. So the femme, that's a good point. Lucia saying about she'd be more interested in smelling the femme version. I think the femme version is nice, but it's nowhere near as iconic as this. So good. I love this stuff. I'm glad I've got a mini bottle of it now because it's a good one to have for reference. So if fragrance A was a colour, what colour would it be? That's my question to you. Siobhan says the femme version was her teenage scent. Interesting. Doris is going to spray her husband with it against his will so he won't be smelly. We fully endorse that. Exactly. Davidoff had to be in the box, didn't it? You had to put Cool Water in him. It's literally in the name. Azure, turquoise, aquamarine. We're going bluey colours. I get a greyness from it, weirdly. I wonder if it's the lavender. It's giving kind of like a very washed out, kind of purpley grey. I don't know. There you go. The turquoise of swimming pool tiles. Yes, Hester. Nikki wore it and got flashbacks of dodgy teenage parties. Yeah, I can feel that. That's a big vibe. B gives me that. I get a lot of that from B. Pale yellow, pale green, aquamarine. Fabulous. Really interesting. So just as a recap, for those of you who missed it, if you've just joined us, Cool Water Eau de Toilette by Davidoff. This is the male version. By Pierre Bourdin, the perfumer, came out in 1988. Notes of mint, green nuances, lavender, geranium, neroli, jasmine, cedarwood, musk, and amber. It's £30 for a 40ml eau de toilette. Nick is telling me it is the colour of the bottle that I'm holding. Well, they got it right then, didn't they? That's good. Okay, let's move on to B. Fragrance B. Let me get it out of my box. There we go. I couldn't get it. Fragrance B. What do we think of B? Are we a fan or are we not? I think this one was a little bit divisive, actually. Spray the right end. Does annoy me when I go to a shop and they spray the thick end of a tester strip. It's the wrong end. Okay, so this is Fragrance B. Is it going to focus? Probably not. This one is citrusy. Yes, I agree. Strong ginger from B, says Gavin. Yeah, I haven't really picked up on that before, but I can see that. Okay, so Dorota liked B a lot more than A, but not as much as C and D. Okay, good to know. B is beautiful. B is very shouty. Yeah, there is a kind of noisiness to B, Lynn. I agree. Lucia says the first few minutes like changing rooms at public swimming pool. Yeah, there is that kind of syntheticness to it, isn't there? Ginger and lemon. Dries down quite sweet but nice on the strip. Fresh but develops spicy notes quickly. Yes, there's definitely lots of spices here. Siobhan says peppery, herbal and spicy freshness. Adele thinks it's unusual but doesn't like it. Hester also gets that fresh ginger root. Something camphorous, says Susie. I like this one. I think this is a really easy fragrance to wear. B reminds Kirsten of the IT support office from her job back in the early 90s. And that checks out, to be fair. So this is another iconic aquatic fragrance. And this time it shows how an aquatic fragrance can lean more woody. So I think actually you may smell this and not think it's instantly aquatic, but like Cool Water, it does have quite a lot of cologne in here. I can smell that quite strong. But also the idea behind it was that it would be aquatic. The inspiration behind this fragrance is that it's kind of a woody take on aquatic. And the magic really is a fresh aquatic water lily accord. So a very aquatic floral accord that's accented by warm spices and solid woods with a really lovely juicy bitter yuzu accord up top. And the result is a very clean, masculine aquatic that feels transparent and very sculptural to me. It feels very minimalist, very kind of straight lines, very well thought out and very perfectly composed. If Cool Water is crashing waves and showboating beefcakes, then this one is a still transparent pool with just one sort of block of wood in the middle. Is there sea salt in there too? Possibly, yeah. It's quite green, like cut flower stems, yeah. Nick saying yuzu and nutmeg. Yeah, Carl saying, is that Carl that said it was bitter grapefruit? Reminds me of Dentist, a large, airy white room. I like. Yeah, I think, Phoebe, that's really what I get from it too, a really large white room. Dal says, reminds me of a woody home by a nice lake or by the sea. SpongeBob ? I should have said the earlier rule that there can only be one SpongeBob reference per live. I apologise. Solid wood, back to Momoa again. Louise. The dentist waiting room is erotic, says Rebecca. I think I've missed the context of that conversation. But hey, I'm happy. Okay, let's go to the group comments then. Andrew described this one beautifully. He said, it makes me think of a remote Japanese island baking in the sun. On the island, there are yuzu groves in clearings dappled by the sun, and the floor is covered in flowers. It's surrounded by a sandy beach littered with huge rocks at the water's edge, and the waves crashing into them leaves a slight foamy, salty, mineral smell lingering in the air. Andrew, are you here? Andrew, the Andrew that wrote that. Please say hello, I'm here if you're here. Please. I want to talk to you very quickly. Andrew, I'll let you do that while I tell everyone else's comments. Kirsten said it reminded her of clean mountain air, gentle rivers and waterfalls, and cool sunsets, walks along the beach, adding that it's very clean and almost laundry fresh. Hester said it was ferny and grassy, like rolling on a wet lawn, which has low-growing herbs growing here and there. Andrew, you're here. Guess what, Andrew? You got a box. I know you didn't make that comment on the live, but it was so fantastic, I want to give you a box. It was so evocative and beautiful, and I get exactly what you're saying. So Andrew Dixon, well done, congrats, you've got a box. If you could just DM Escentual, and then they'll do the magic. Amazing. So, you're right, Karen, you feel an Oprah moment. I would really like... Karen, can we get some form of like sound effect or like, I don't know, like a rave horn or something that I can use when I give a box out? Maybe, I don't know, a confetti cannon. I don't want to ask for too much, but maybe just some of those accessories would be really helpful. I think they'd be good for the general well-being of everybody in the room. Yes, Andrew, congratulations. Thank you very much for sharing that. So what do I smell? Sharp, juicy yuzu. It's bitter but transparent. Devoid of a vibrant colour. There's clear waters. Maybe the waters themselves are slightly grey, maybe with the leaking dust of stones. There's perfectly round pebbles, a soft wave of spice, and a harmony of flowers and woods floating on a still body of water. It's that harmonious thing that I think works really, really well with this. It all feels perfectly placed. Minimalist. Yes, absolutely. Siobhan is also asking for a confetti cannon because it would bring so much joy. We have to do it now, Karen. We can't. We have to give the people what they want. By the people, I mean me. This is a really beautiful fragrance. I actually really, really like this. I really like it. So, what is it? Do we have any guesses? Nigel could apparently come in and do a trumpet solo when you give a box away. I think we may be over-egging Nigel's brass skills here. No, Chris, I don't want a tambourine. That doesn't feel as exciting as a confetti cannon and a rave horn. I mean, I'll take one or the other, you know? Nigel's looking at me as if to say if he dares have a confetti cannon in my house. Is anyone else getting a little high from smelling it? I hope not. Okay, so the fragrance is... Are you ready? It is L'Eau d'Issy Pour Homme by Issey Miyake. This is my very well-loved bottle that I've had for years and years. It's been in and out of my bag and is very scratched. But I think, that's just a sign of the fact that I like it. So this is the masculine fragrance that's like the signature flagship fragrance of Issey Miyake. It's created by Jacques Cavier in 1994. It's £40 for a 40ml eau de toilette. And it was created to express masculinity through woods, a spicy aquatic fragrance with an exuberant freshness. And it's a classic of the 90s. It's absolutely beautiful. I think this is one of the most handsome masculines of all time. I don't know whether that's just because it's a formative thing for me, because when I grew up, this is what boys were wearing. I had a couple of boyfriends that wore this. They're no longer my boyfriends, but that's fine. Well done, Siobhan. You got one right. Congrats. Gavin's 2 for 2. Well done. Congratulations. Siobhan says you knew it smelled like a dance party. Yeah. I think the thing is, this one's quite obvious to me because it is such a distinct fragrance, I think. If you'd smelled this before, I think you're likely to have got it. Hence saying I need to get more familiar with Issey, never wandered near the fragrance. They've actually done some really fantastic stuff. I think they're often overlooked. The original L'Eau d'Issys are beautiful. They did a wonderful fragrance that's now been discontinued, unfortunately, called A Scent by Issey Miyake, which is a really beautiful green, transparent galbanum fragrance that's meant to smell like Mount Fuji. Gorgeous. And I know that Karen and Chelsea were raving about the new Drop DC on their recent Instagram live. So I went out and bought that with the 20% off because I needed to have it. So I'm excited for that. I think they do some really lovely stuff. Even their like Please stuff was quite fun and cool. So yeah. If this was a celebrity, then who would it be? Yes, Lisa, that is an excellent point. The rose one for women is Lush, which is the Issey Miyake Low DC Rose and Rose. It's like the jammiest, most gorgeous rose. And we did the woody one in the woody box, the wood and wood. I think. Yeah, we did. We did. Susie's saying she hopes I like it. Yeah, well, I hope I like it too. I have Karen and Chelsea to blame for that purchase. Because they made it sound so appealing. So, Keanu Reeves. Maybe one of the male pros from Strictly. Maybe Aliash because Yum. Interesting. I would put Giovanni above Aliash. It's like Giovanni, Gorka, Neil, Aliash. It's not at the top of my list. Leonardo DiCaprio hanging onto the raft at the end of the Titanic. He could have fit on that doorway. He could have fit on there. Liam Hemsworth. Is it Nigel? It's Nigel. It could be Nigel. He's a celebrity. What year was this one released? This was released in 1994. Pure Nectar is Lush too. Oh, yes, we did Pure Nectar. Did we do Pure Nectar? Did we do that in Fruity? This has been a long year. We're on the 8th box. I'm pretty sure we did do the Pure Nectar because it was a kind of fruity cashmeran thing. Lucia. Orlando Bloom, paddleboarding. The fact that I know the exact photos that you're referring to says so much about me, but also so much about you, Lucia. And I thought because we are kindred spirits, you get a box for that. Anybody else who doesn't know what we're talking about, Google Orlando Bloom paddleboarding, but just do it at your own risk. Lucia, if you could DM Escentual for a box, you've won one. I've given away 3 now. You guys are on fire tonight. You're very funny. Giovanni's a bit sleazy for me. Gorka, yes. Okay. A younger Harrison Ford. He was very handsome. Lisa says Boris Johnson. Is there ambergris? There could well be. It's not listed as a no. I don't find it particularly ambroxan heavy, which is kind of the synthetic ambergris that they use. I find it more calogne, but there might be. I know. I can't believe this is the 8th box either. I'm very excited that we're looking at the future boxes as well. I'm not saying anything about that. Don't worry, Karen, I will give nothing away. But I'm very excited for that. Patrick Duffy in Aquaman. There were other people in Aquaman? Literally just thought it was Jason Momoa and Nicole Kidman. Stuffing this up my nose like a COVID test because it smells so good. That's fine. You do you. We had Pure Petal in one of the boxes. Did we have Pure Petal in one of the boxes? I'm so confused. We've done a few Issey Miyake, let's just say that. Yep. Okay. There's some really interesting ideas about this one. Issey Miyake is a good brand. I'm a big fan. Oh, he was TV's Aquaman. Okay. Gotcha. Right, shall we move on then to Fragrance C? Whizzing through these tonight, he says, with no idea what the time is, it's probably like 11 p.m. at this point. We did Wood and Wood in the Woody box, and it was the Pure Petal de Nectar. Thank you, Maddie. That was it. It had a long name. I remember now. I know what I'm doing. I don't. Right, so let's go on to C. We've had enough of B, as Carol has quite rightly told us. We're moving on to C, Fragrance C. What do we think of C? Again, I think another one that was a little bit divisive. Christabel's just Googled Orlando Bloom paddleboarding. What have we done, Lucia? What have we done? What have we done? C is immediately plastic doll head for me in a good way, says Susie. Pat says yuck. I'm noticing a honey thing in this that I hadn't noticed before. Just there's a random thought popping on top of my head. Nice on the bottle, a blotter but horrible on the skin. Oh, sorry that you have to go and wait, but hopefully this all made up for it. Crystal doesn't like sea. Inoffensive but not blown my socks off, says Siobhan. I really like this. Gail says it faded too quickly. It is an eau de toilette, so I wonder if that's why. Too floral for Lisa. So we've had a straight up aquatic. Yes, and Hester, I think you're right. It's very honey on the blotter, isn't it? But not so much on skin. We had a straight up aquatic at the beginning, and then we've had a woody aquatic. And now let's look at something that's a floral aquatic, or more importantly, a feminine aquatic. I think a lot of the time we think of aquatic fragrances as masculine. Angela's saying the Orlando photos are spoiled by annoying black square. You're not Googling hard enough, Angela. That's all I'm telling you. You need to Google harder. This, I think, is one of the... If it's not the reference aquatic, floral aquatic, it is one of. And it really set the trend. And I think it's also created with an incredibly Japanese approach, not to give any hints, of minimalism and clarity. It's a simple idea executed to perfection. And it's described as a minimalist and innovative perfume capturing when flower meets water. So in the group, Carl said it was like dewy flowers in spring. And Claire said she could smell the sun, the stamens, and the vase water, which I thought was really, really lovely. Crystal says, please explain the strange smell in the opening. It's like a very old rusty nail. There is kind of a metallic quality to this. And I think sometimes in some floral materials you can get that metallic quality, potentially with the use of a material called azurone, which has kind of like a sort of metallic feel to it. It's kind of a bit like if you lick your skin and then like smell your skin, it's that kind of metallic smell. And that's used a lot in floral accords. So I would be really surprised if there wasn't some azurone in this fragrance, because this is an aquatic floral. So what do I get? I get pale, out of focus flowers, roses and water lilies covered in dew. The colour's drained out. They're pure white. There's a hint of something a little bit milky in there. And maybe the water's a little bit cloudy with sort of carrying perfect lilies on top. It's fresh, it's glowing, it's dewy. It's a little bit sweet as well. Heather says, straight up honeysuckle growing over the fence at my nana's. Took me back to being about 10. Lovely. Doris says, reminds me of drying off in the sun after having a dip in the ocean. I miss holidays abroad. I miss them too. Could be a Kenzo, says Andrew. Siobhan's saying Google harder orange bloom. Orlando bloom. Orange bloom. Whoever he is. Smells like overblown blousy roses. Interesting. Okay. I thought we lick our skin to smell our breath. Well, yeah, kind of. It's kind of that metallic, like breathy feel. An empty room with rose petals and puddle on the ground. Lovely. Monet painting. Enjoying this more this evening than I did yesterday. Interesting. I really like it. It doesn't last a huge amount on the skin. It's very light. But I think this is very, kind of, it's very of its time. Yes, Orlando Bloom is probably going to hate us for resurfacing those photos, but we are moving on from Mr. Bloom, or to moving away from Mr. Katy Perry, as is his rightful name. Claire says prudish. Yeah, Claire, I kind of get that because it's a bit sharp, isn't it? Lisa says loudly for all. Shiseido Rising Sun, says Gavin. Reminds me of my t-shirt in a good way. Thank you. It's a great t-shirt. It's from Zara. Loud yet subtle. Yeah, it really is, isn't it, Renita? It's kind of loud but also minimalist. It's a real strange dichotomy. Watery florists. Yeah, that was the one, Siobhan. I remember you saying that. I smell like a nana now. Why do so many ones go full on lady on me? I don't know, Marie. I don't know. I can't help you. Okay, time for the reveal. This fragrance is... Let me give the bottle a bit of a polish. L'Eau d'Issy by Issey Miyake. This is the Eau de Toilette. This came out in 1992, so 2 years before our L'Eau d'Issy pour on. Same perfumer, Jacques Cavier, and it is £39 for a 25ml Eau de Toilette. It's just an icon. It perfectly represents the Issey Miyake brand to me with that kind of simplistic structural style. And that's why it carries the name Water of Issey. It's Issey distilled into a bottle. And the bottle is meant to look like, I think it's meant to look like the Eiffel Tower with like a bead of dew on top or something along those lines. So if fragrancy was a flower, what flower would it be? Double Issy. Yeah, you've been Issy squared today. Emma, you're right. It's absolutely timeless. You can't beat it. Cannot beat it. It's good stuff, this. Lovely, lovely stuff. Water lilies. Yeah, totally water lilies. Yeah, it is interesting that the female version came out first. I imagine that's probably because Issey Miyake is more of a women's wear brand than it is menswear, even though they do menswear. I'm not even reading that out, Anna. But keep trying. I like it. I enjoy it. Water lilies. Lots of water lilies, yeah. Split travel bottle set looks so cool. Yeah, they do these cool bottles where you get a kind of a special lid that has some fragrance in it as well. And you can just take the lid with you. Geranium, battered rose, Monet water lily. Yeah. It's a lovely, lovely fragrance. I've been wearing this a lot, actually. This was one I never really wore, but I obviously had smelled. I've been enjoying wearing it since it came because it is just so clean. There's a nice laundry vibe to it, I think. Understated plant like an orchid. Truly iconic, says Catherine. Pink water lily. So the notes, official notes, are rose, lotus, lily, fresh flowers, and precious woods. I love it when they put things like fresh flowers and precious woods because it's basically meaningless. What are those? Yes, and there was some talk in the group about, is this one a pricey one? Well, it's not. It's fairly affordable, I would say. Nice investment piece. Yes, I agree, Susie. It's a clean white t-shirt for scent. White linen, yep, I get that. Get that Estee Lauder vibe. Gail says she's really having the opportunity to try a range of fragrances I would never have considered these sample boxes. That makes me so happy because that's what this is all about, really. You may never have even considered trying an aquatic fragrance, but it kind of puts them under your nose and lets you experience them. And I think you find stuff that you would never normally wear. Crisp, bright red lipstick, agree. Just a nice accent colour, completely. Okay, who is ready for our final reveal, which is D? Remember, I've got 2 boxes to give away, people. What do we think of D, then? Let me just move D a little bit closer. And let me get my sample, which I've already been talking about with the wonderful Susie Nightingale, the legend, the icon, the moment that is Susie Nightingale, earlier today. That is a clean strip. So good. So good. This is D. Everybody? D. The Issey Miyake, if you're asking, is Eau de Toilette. We're bringing on the D. Absolutely. The D is here. Who loved D then? I saw a few people saying D was their favourite. We've got Lisa and Susie saying that. Louise is saying D is a modern masterpiece. Wow. That is strong words coming from you, Louise. Angela says D reminds me of a meadow that's been freshly cut, grassy, mixed with cut flowers. Conchetta says it's a favourite, but it disappeared so quickly it smelt the most expensive. Interesting point. We will come on to that. Lucia says this one's rather beautiful. Carl says pencil shavings. Lisa's run out of clean strips. Nikki's worried that she might drink it. Caressed by the fjord. I don't think I've ever heard the term caressed by the fjord before, but I really like that. You may have a box. Please message Escentual. You know the deal. I've got one more box. Kirsten says this is the most aquatic. Claire respected it but hated it. I respect that. Heather says Herbs de Provence. Pat and Pebble says of the first 4, D is a favourite. Susie thought it was Mont Blanc Explorer Blue at first, but it's not. If D was a superhero, it would be Greta Thunberg. I get that. That's cool. Interesting. Nick says D is inky and dark. Nick, that is such a good point because I think this is really inky too. There's kind of like an iodine mineral thing. You're right, Nick. You're going to dine off dine out off that for months now that I said you were right. Cold water on hot pebbles, absolutely. G&T with too much cucumber. I love cucumber though. Yeah, always use the pointy end. And then you can fold it over, which means you can then sit up on a table and it doesn't get on the table. You're welcome. Enjoy your box. I enjoyed being caressed by the fjord, to be honest with you. Fresh but woody. Okay, so aquatic fragrances, I think, have, perhaps because they've been worn so many times and by so many people, they've mostly been mainstream as well. They're often accused of being a bit cheap. And for this reason, very few niche or luxury brands will create an aquatic perfume because they don't feel luxe. If you can go and buy Issey Miyake and Davidoff, which we know are great brands, but they're not the most luxurious of fragrance brands in the world. That's the truth. That association of aquatic means that it's not very luxe. So I wanted to end the first half of this box with a perfume that showed aquatics can be niche and luxurious. And that's exactly what this fragrance is. And it's quite daring for a niche luxury, house to launch an aquatic fragrance, I think. It's also a modern aquatic. This launched in 2015. Yes, Nick, I said you were right. All right. Did everyone hear it? Yes, Nick, if you want to just screenshot that, or I don't know, download the video and then just play it back to yourself in the middle of the night, I'm not going to be upset. You do what you need to do. Okay. So Sarah called this one coastal with a hint of trees. Lots of people noting that there's some greenery and woodiness, adding that it was salty. Pip detected a hint of grapefruit, and Kirsten likened it to ocean dried skin. The first thing I get is a kind of pepper note, a pink pepper note. It's kind of got that shiny mineral darkness to it. It's mineral, it's crystalline, it's transparent. I imagine this fragrance as salt crystals forming on a coastal rock, viewed through a haze of sea spray. There's also some driftwood caught in the waves. There's something briny about it, something iodic, some kind of scent of salt in the air. It's so, so beautiful. And probably my favourite in the box, I think. I just think it's really, really lovely. Alison says it's like a sweaty walk in wet autumnal woods. Alison, what have you been getting up to? Anna says it's a shipwreck. That's a really good description because it's woody and maybe they had some rum on board and some spices. Anita says Amouage Beach Hut. I've never smelt it, but just guessing. It's not Amouage Beach Hut. And I still to this day cannot believe that Amouage of all brands released a fragrance called Beach Hut. Of all the perplexing things in the world, that's the most perplexing. Alison's having a lot of fun in the woods. Good for you, Alison. Good for you. Kirsten knows what it is. I'm not confirming that. I'm just reading what Kirsten has said. Abby says, I love this as it opens, but later on it loses the aquatic and leaves behind a hint of nick on my skin, if that's a thing. It's most certainly a thing. Shipwreck is good, I agree. I'd have given that a box, but Anna's already had a box. I can't give you 2 boxes. It's against the rules. Dirty muddy shoes that got ruined playing chicken with the sea. Yeah, from my experience, it's never worth playing chicken with the sea. The sea always wins. Daryl Hannell coming out of the water. Hot pirate swimming ashore, all sweaty and sweary. Oh, Susie. Feels like you've fallen into the shaving skip in a sawmill. Tell us, need to know, can't wait any longer. No, I'm going to keep going. Is it Silver Mountain water? Nick, you are wrong. I'm really sorry. I'm going to have to take back earlier when I said I was right. The wrongness just cancels that out now, I'm afraid. But romantic pirates. Yeah, totally. I think all pirates were romantics at heart, aren't they not? The girl with the dragon tattoo, cool and dangerous, yeah. Orlando Bloom, again, but in the last Pirates of the Caribbean film where he goes all hot and proper piratey. And he has no paddleboard, unfortunately. Peace is vain. Chris says, I might be a perfume hoe because I just like everything and wear it all with glee. That's what we like to hear. Do I sound all husky? That's just my natural voice, Lisa. That's how I sound. Okay, I will put you out of your misery, people. Are you ready? Are you ready? It's been a while since they've been in one of our boxes, but I'm glad to announce that this one is Amila Harris. And this one is L'Eau Magnétique. And my ring light is ruining showing you this. It's a bit difficult with these bottles because of the the writing. Yeah, there you go. L'eau magnétique by Miller Harris. Who said that aquatics cannot be luxurious? This one proves you all wrong. So this came out in 2015. It's credited on the interwebs as being by Lynn Harris, the founder of Miller Harris, but I don't think that is correct because I think Lynn Harris had left the brand at that point. I believe it's a perfumer at Robertet, but I don't know their name. This one is £85 for a 50ml eau de parfum. It is a modern, luxurious aquatic, and I think it's really beautiful. So lovely. Really easy to wear. I'm wearing it now. I'm going to respritz because why not? Oh, luxurious spritz there. It's absolutely gorgeous. Oh, it's so refreshing. It's so beautifully mineral. I love that it's an unusual take on aquatics. And Susie and I, when we were talking earlier, not to drop names, but I was having a little chat with Susie. We were talking about how the water doesn't feel like it's the main attraction here. It's everything around it. It's the rocks, it's the salt crystals, it's the mineral quality, it's the kind of the darkness of the algae in the water. And I agree with Nick when Nick earlier said, I don't know if you heard me say that Nick was right when he mentioned that it was inky, but he was. So well done, Nick. And yes, Nick, bloody hell, it's only a Miller Harris. We've never included them except for every other box. Actually, we had a couple of boxes where we didn't have them. I don't think we had them in Solar or the one before. So the notes, official notes are pink peppercorn, bergamot, lemon, petit grain, white cedarwood, tobacco accord, bourbon vanilla, and tonka bean. 4 out of 4. Lots of people have got 4 out of 4. Thomas, you really got so many of us head over heels to Miller Harris. I think we need shares. I think you need shares. I think I need shares. I'm the one that needs the shares in the Miller Harris. Yeah, I love this brand. That's why I was always trying to wangle it into a box. Because I just think they're really, really beautiful. They do lovely stuff. Waft of Nicker is a criminally underused note. Yes, it is, Nick, indeed. It is indeed. For good reason. So, L'eau magnétique. They do this in a 50ml and a 100ml. This is the nice chunky 100ml size, but you can get 50ml for £85, which isn't too bad when there is 20% off and you can save up your pretty pennies. Really. Remember the woody one that had one that I liked? I need to recheck it. Was that Peau Santal? I think we did for the woody, didn't we? I'm getting so bad at remembering. So, if Fragrance D was a place, where would it be? You need to be paid for the sales you make for Miller Harris. Yeah, I think I should do, actually. We need to talk about that. No, I'm kidding. Yes, it was Peau Santal. Thank you, Pattern Purple. Your memory is better than mine. Doris says, I hope there are more female aquatic fragrances in the next half. I need a replacement for the badly reformulated We from Lancôme. So though I would say probably half of the next half, so a quarter of the box in total, 2 of the ones that we've got coming up are probably more female leaning. Rhonda's found it possible to keep pretty pennies for any length of time. I feel that. Do you know how many pretty pennies I managed to save up? I had £1.72's worth because every time I buy something, I just use what I have. I'm not sensible. I don't save it up. I'm too tempted by having £1.72 off a box, off of a perfume. But I got my £1.72 off my dropped Issy. Karen's saying, don't forget everyone, we have a sheet with all the past fragrances revealed in the guide section, which would probably be really good for me to go and look at because I seem to be forgetting them all. Emma says her faves are Poirier d'Un Soir and Titanic. Yes, love those. We did Poirier d'Un Soir in our fruit. We did. It's a forest where the sea washes in and mixes the fallen wood and leaves. Every £1.72 really does help. Copenhagen, cool and modern. Norway or Denmark, rock pools, Iceland, somewhere tranquil and a bit mysterious. Judith says all of her pretty pennies are gone. Abby says rusty shackles on a pirate ship being battered by the ocean, possibly on a yacht somewhere luxurious. Secret hidden away cave in the cliffs near a windy, desolate beach. Lovely. Lovely jubbly. Right, I'm going to do a quick recap. Quick recap for everybody. Where were we? So our first fragrance was the Reference Aquatic, the OG, one of the best, which was Cool Water. by Davidoff, or as I called it, Cold Moisture. This is a 40 ml EDT for £30. It was created by Pierre Bourdin in 1988. Okay, right. I'm picking up on the Brighton Pier comment where Patrick, the starfish from SpongeBob, is mentioned. I will give you a box for that because of pure innovation to get around the one SpongeBob alive rule. So, Dahl, I hope I've said your name right. Please correct me if I've said it wrong. You've got a box for that because that's very innovative thinking. I like that. Crystal prefers the second half of the box. I'm really excited to chat through that with you. I think we go off a little bit off-piste in the second half of the box. We talk about some more aquatic nuances. So some fragrances that probably may not be 100% aquatic in their theme, but a little bit more of an aquatic nuance, an aquatic vibe. Yeah, and some interesting stuff. Where were we? Yes, I was recapping. I'm very easily distracted, aren't I? Then B, we had the Low C, which was our woody aquatic, and that is a £40 for 40ml eau de toilette. That was the one that Andrew, I'm going to read Andrew's description again because it's fantastic. The one that made him think of a remote Japanese island baking in the sun with yuzu groves in clearings, dappled by the sun, and the floor is covered in flowers, surrounded by a sandy beach littered with huge rocks at the water's edge and the waves crashing into them, leaving a slightly foamy, salty mineral smell lingering in the air. Andrew, we love you. You're a dude. Then C was L'Eau d'Issy, the original, the feminine version, the eau de toilette. This is £40 for 40ml LDT, and this is a floral aquatic, very minimalist, nicely structural. And then we had D, which was the luxurious niche aquatic, the L'Eau Magnétique, which is all crashing waves and mineral rocks and salt crystals and inkiness and iodine in the air. And that's from Miller Harris. It's L'Eau Magnétique, and that is £85 for a 50ml eau de parfum. Thank you, everyone, for joining. We reveal the next 4 fragrances on the 26th of August. Don't forget that the Fougère box, the September box, is on sale now and will be up until the 6th of September. And currently on site, there is 20% off everything. I feel like I should just mention that just so you're all aware. I've really enjoyed talking about the first 4 aquatics with you. And I'm looking forward to seeing you all again. Keep doing what you do in the group. Keep talking about the next 4 fragrances. It's really good to see what you're talking about. And please join us for the wear days and the lives that we're doing there. Have a lovely evening, and I will see you all soon. Thanks, guys. Night, everybody.